Hello and welcome. My name is Michael, and today we are discussing about the endless cycle of medical bills and medical issues. I have a great concern over what's going to be happening for the next couple of years in America, and coming from Europe, I am very upset at the way the healthcare system works here. It's just one of those things that doesn't necessarily make sense because you are trapped unless you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars annually. And even then, it can be problematic because the healthcare system here is designed for the average person to fail at it. And one of the things that is just extremely frustrating now that I think about it while recording this video, I'm literally paying health bills. I am paying health bills from last year for the next 6 months. I just started payments for a laboratory bill. Remember when I went to the doctor, the ENT, because I had an infection? Well, that ENT sent it off to the lab, and in Poland, that would be free and whatever, included in the doctor's visit, or at least I was never aware of that because I've done plenty of labs, I've done MRIs, I've done crazy stuff in Europe that probably I would have gone bankrupt over here. Negative $50,000. You have an MRI? No insurance? Oh, man. In Poland, I wasn't afraid of having no health insurance because technically they have free public health care. It's just you have long lines for that. And then if anything were to ever happen, you're always able to get private health insurance. And then if you're preparing for like a surgery or whatever, that's definitely going to be worth it because then the costs go down. Over here, you want to buy insurance, it's not going to be active for the next month. I don't know if there's a way around that. If there is, let me know. And over there, all you had to wait was a day. That's it. I bought health insurance, and a couple hours later, I was using it. I bought it at night, and at 1 a.m., I was at the hospital because I broke my toe. So it is crazy because I'm paying for a laboratory bill that I had to negotiate. Ooh, yes. I would have been charged $400, and wow, they give me a big discount, 35%. So I'm still paying close to $300. And I'd rather just pay that off over the next 6 months because I don't have money at the moment. And it terrifies me because all in all, those 2 doctor visits associated with the same ear infection. I had to go to the doctor a second time because my ear infection burst. So I was worried that anything with the ear, anything mouth infection, anything head can obviously spread to the brain. So I don't want to die over an infection. And I went to the doctor, and he drained the pus and everything, and it was a very uncomfortable and a painful experience. But that whole ordeal cost me $1,300 altogether now because of the lab tests that I received last month, that I negotiated, that I got a new bill, and now I'm on the payment plan. And at least it's 0% interest. If they charged an interest for that, oh man, I'd be so upset. I'd pay it in full, but I would be left without any money for other expenses. And that's the thing. I currently don't know what to do because my teeth hurt. And I've been to the dentist. I have no idea. It's too many times to count in my life. I brush my teeth, but these are problems since I was a kid. And last year, my family are dentists, and in Poland, I was able to get free dentist visits, unless I had to pay for braces or extra materials or stuff like that. Then yes, I did. It's still very cheap compared to American costs. And I had to get my teeth drilled in 4 or 5 different places. And then something happened. I had to come back in a second time. Don't remember what. And I'm always afraid because it's going to worsen my tinnitus because of the drilling. So it's a very painful experience. Not only the physical pain, but also the mental pain and knowing that I will have more physical pain from my ears for the next months after each dentist visit. And yet I still have to go because I went twice to the doctors before I left Poland last year, and then I had to go a 3rd time to the dentist. Thankfully, he didn't charge me because he didn't end up doing any work. He did a scan, thankfully, for free. This was kind of a bro move, and he said, you know what, we could remove your wisdom tooth, but it's not impacted, you're going to be fine. I thought I had pain on this side for the longest period of time, and it was impacting my ear as well, and then it stopped, and thankfully I didn't have to do that because I was afraid of the cost and everything. But now I have pain on this side, and I looked, and under a light, it looks like the filling cracked. This isn't the first time it happened to me. And now it's extremely painful to cold and hot temperatures, and it's been going on like this for the past couple of days, and I am freaking out because I have no money for the dentists. I have no money for health insurance. I don't have health insurance. Health insurance costs me $300, $400 a month. I keep checking, and I cannot qualify for any assistance because I make too much money, but I don't make enough money to be able to support myself because I have constant bills coming from everywhere. And then a constant medical emergency. It seems as if it's happening every single month. And this is just the beginning. A dentist is going to cost you money. Even if you work at a great corporation and you get dental and vision, it's still not going to cover everything. A dental might be 10, 20, 30%. The best will be 30%. And you're still going to end up owing thousands of dollars for crowns or any major work. And that's just the cherry on top. I missed work for more than a week, and I've never stopped with the back pain. It hasn't ceased. This was 2 months back, and I had opportunity cost because I lost the work time from going into work, getting paid salary plus a commission because I work in car sales. So that every week is essentially $1,000 or even more of opportunity cost. Right now in the summer, probably $1,500 worth of opportunity cost because last week I was sick with COVID. 2 months ago, I was out for a week because of my back. And even when I came back, I wasn't able to move. I had crutches. I wasn't able to assist with clients. So the first day I came back, I wasn't able to be with any client because I knew that I would have trouble getting the car. I would have trouble walking anywhere. To the bathroom, I had trouble. And now it's not so bad, but that back pain never ceased. I need to get a larger car, but I can't. My credit sucks, so I have to deal with this one. But sitting in this one, it has to be the cause. In my bed, it has to be the cause of my back just being destroyed. Can't afford physical therapy. Can't afford going to a doctor again. Can't afford taking another week off of work. There's tons of opportunity costs. The cost associated with medical bills is insane. And if anything happens with my ears, I'm just learning to ignore my tinnitus and hearing loss, and it is what it is because I have no health insurance. It's not, even if I was paying $300 to $400 a month, even for the better plans, let's say $500 a month, it still wouldn't cover everything. And with the copays and deductibles and the cost of medicine and all this, I calculated that the amount that I spent on doctors over the past year, I try and limit every single doctor visit. I try and limit how much medication I take. If I'm sick, if anything happens, then I always try and just deal with it. And I calculated that essentially what I've spent, the $1,300 on the 2 ENT visits and a couple $100 on pain pills and medicine because of my back and physical therapy and all this. So let's just say $2,000 that I spent over the past almost a year. Going to be a year pretty soon. Well, with health insurance, we'd be at the same place. And eventually, health insurance will actually even cost me more. So whether I have health insurance or whether I have none and I keep having constant medical problems, it's going to cost me thousands of dollars. And this doesn't make sense. Because after my taxes get deducted, which I've been calculating that it's anywhere from 25 to 29%, sometimes even up to 30%, I'm left with nothing to pay the bills because I have a constant barrage of bills. And then any medical emergency, and I am left clueless as to any solution. In Poland, it would not be any easier because there's massive inflation. There was 16% inflation last month over there. And people earn a lot less money. And it's just crazy. There's the positives and the negatives, and the grass is always greener on the other side. But when it comes to medical bills, I feel like this is going to be an endless circle. I'm always awaiting the day that there's going to be another medical crisis, and I'm so worried about that because I don't have good enough credit. I'm trying everything I can to build it up, but this takes years to build it back up. Once you make one mistake, it screws up your credit report for the next 7.5 years. And actually even more than that, because my collection wasn't reported only more than a year and a half after the event occurred. So really, I'm waiting closer to 9 years for everything to get fixed up. And I need a credit card. I need a credit card, really, realistically, that has $5,000 to $10,000 limit. My income would be able to support that. It's just, I need it for emergencies. I have no emergency fund. I have 2 lawyers that I'm paying. I have doctors that I don't want to pay, but I have to pay for that laboratory. I have to pay for the ENT. I'm pretty sure there was another doctor visit or something that I'm missing out. Oh yeah, I had to pay for doctors for my fiance, now my wife, because we had to get birth control pills and all that, and it's way too expensive, and antibiotics way too expensive compared to what the cost would be in Poland. It's just, there's a lot of stuff that concerns me. If I don't want kids, but if I ever were to have kids, I don't think I'd want to raise them in America. Unless you're a multimillionaire, and even then, the whole idea scares me, because a lot of people will say, oh, but it's only thousands of dollars right now. Well, yeah, but even if you have health insurance, there's so many cases of people going $1 million into debt or more. And you know what's the scariest part? It's the fact that the Highland Park shooting, the one that happened not too far away, it made me envision, like, what would happen if something like that happened to me? Because this can happen to anybody. You're going to a grocery store, you're going to a parade, you're going wherever, and this is commonplace now. Or you're down in Chicago and there's a stray bullet. This has happened so many times to people. The worst part is, it really makes you just terrified. What happens if you make it out alive and then you realize, oh my goodness, now you owe more than $2 million in hospital bills? It's crazy that for Highland Park, everyone's gathering money and they totally deserve the money. They need the money, but it's just sad that they need it. They desperately need it. These families need the money because funerals will cost them. It'll bankrupt them. Hospital bills, it'll bankrupt them. Everything is going to bankrupt these people. They've already been victims to a terrible tragedy. I'm getting really emotional here. And they are going to go bankrupt. They're going to be victims twice-fold, because these bills aren't normal bills. Nobody can pay them. Even millionaires would struggle to be able to pay $1 million for something. And yes, with payment plans. And I know somebody from work who has had over $1 million of medical bills that they said they've paid over a course of like 10, 15 years. That idea is terrifying to me. And yes, they've broken bones and stuff, but again, in Europe, you break bones, you have cancer, something like that, like worst case scenario, like these crazy life-altering surgeries. Yeah, in certain cases, insurance isn't going to cover it, and public health care is not going to cover it, and you might have to gather some money, but it's going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars, maybe thousands of dollars, and you'll be fine. And that's an amount that people, if it's major cancer and it saves your life, okay, I get that. I really do. But when you're talking about millions of dollars, this is absolutely insane. And I just don't know how to get out of this prison. It's an endless cycle of, okay, as soon as I'm able to move a little bit forward, as soon as I'm better on paying my bills, as soon as I make a little bit more commission, it seems like everything's fine. And then bam, my back hurts, COVID, I get sick, this, blah, blah, blah. My eyes hurt. I got different prescriptions last year in Poland. I had to change the prescription 3 times because they got it wrong. And I had to go over here in America. And as soon as I came back, I had to change the prescription. And I still don't feel it's fully right. But you know what? I have to just ignore it and keep on moving, because this is a problem. If someone like me who has constant medical issues just doesn't have money, I honestly think if I was in a life or death situation right now, but there was a chance that I make it out, and I would think that it's not that crazy. I honestly would say, hold off. Don't call the ambulance. Let me drive myself to the hospital. If that, I'd be afraid of going to a hospital, because if you survive whatever situation you're in, but you have hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, what do you do? You go into bankruptcy, you mess up your credit report, but you need credit for apartments, you need credit for life. Your whole life revolves around credit. And I know how much of a terrible drag it is because I'm working on rebuilding my credit. Woohoo, we're in the 600s. And yet everything sucks. Everything is just terrible. So I honestly don't know what to do. I just wanted to rant to you guys because I have so many things hurting me and I don't have money. And it's not a position of, oh, I can't earn money. I'm constantly trying to earn money. I will be able to earn money, but I'm just afraid. Even when I'm able to pay my bills, it's like there's always a crisis situation just around the corner. And even when my credit goes up, I'm probably going to have to max out my credit cards because what happens if an emergency situation happens? And I wish I had an emergency fund, but I live negative paycheck to paycheck every week. I can't. I don't know how much money I have to make. Do I have to make $100,000 a year and even then I'll be struggling? Even then, even if I was making $10,000, even without the tax deductions, I'd still be struggling. So, thanks for watching.